Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle and triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us today for this episode of Her Version. I want to thank those that are already jumping on live. We appreciate you being here. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Natali Brown. Natali is a heart-centered, or a heart leader, spiritual well-being mentor, and multidimensional channel for the planet, guiding us to activate our energy systems and upgrade our bodies. Her calling was originally sparked by her grandmother, but she was too young to understand. We are here today to talk about her life's journey and how she now believes that her purpose is to help you discover the magic within you. I'm so excited for this. Welcome, Natali Brown. Thank you so much for being here and taking some time out of your morning. So for individuals who are or who have possibly encountered something like this, but maybe they didn't have signs that they could look back on from like a grandmother or remembering seeing spirits when they were younger, but just all of a sudden coming into, their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, wherever this happens to be, and they're starting to notice things. Can you give the example of your journey of like, what was your like initial reaction? I know that you said you felt light, but like what should they be doing? How do they know where to go? How do they know who to help? How do they know that it's for women versus men or for children versus elderly? How did you do that?
Yeah, I for me it was I was like a sponge. Once I had that awakening again, I was like a sponge. I literally wanted to read every single book I could get my hands on.
Okay.
I wanted to find out. It was like my soul was guiding me to the exact person, situation, experiences. And so I first went into Reiki. That's where I was guided through the psychic medium to explore Reiki. And I did my Reiki masters. I went through that process of learning about healing and activating, because through modalities, you activate more of your psychic senses. You hone them, you recalibrate them. You're learning more about yourself and how to help other people, how to work with other people. So that's how I started. And I read every single book I could get my hands on, but nothing really. Books are great, but my spirit team were my teachers. They were my guides, and they told me that I was going to activate an ancient frequency within me, which is called Sentaura. And whilst I was doing Reiki, I realized that I was doing something else. So I think the best thing to follow here and guidance for people is to really follow your soul calling and read up about, what you feel called to read up about, and then get some mentorship around this, because working in the spiritual world is can be really rewarding, but you also have to understand how to protect yourself, how to expand your protection, how to ground yourself, how to cleanse your energy, how to do all of those things. So it's not just, oh, now I'm going to be a psychic medium, or now I'm going to be a healer. There's some learning that comes with this path of walking the spiritual path in this way.
What does grounding mean?
So we all have a column of light. Okay, every single person has a column of light that
Every
stretches.
person.
every single person,
Okay.
that stretches high into the cosmos through our soul star. We have a soul star above our heads here, roughly here, 40
Okay.
centimeters above, and an earth star. This column of light is like our highway to information, to be a channel for the light, be a channel for information to come through us. Okay, so when we are anchored through our column of light, we are experiencing life here so much better. We are also manifesting things much easier. Anchoring means basically imagine that you have roots and it's coming from your feet and you're anchoring into the earth. You are held there solidly. You are not just flitting in the wind, because if you're not anchored, what happens? You have indecision. You have uncertainty. You feel like you don't have purpose.
Yeah.
So it's really important to be anchored into your reality so you can create from this space where we are now. After all, you came here to experience. So when you are connected through your column of light and you anchored, you are a divine channel for source, and you are anchored so you can create and you can bring through the inspirations from source at the same time.
When you're talking about coaching or Reiki or clients of some sort, how does one navigate between a person who is actually speaking to spirits or actually has, you know, um, communication through the light, and somebody who doesn't, who's just like hanging out, taking a Reiki class and doing
Mm.
Reiki on you?
um,
Or is there no difference? Can you
it,
just teach yourself?
Well, definitely for a modality, okay, I would say it's really good to be able to learn a modality because that's the catalyst to opening up. But I work with many clients and beautiful souls that have simply had an awakening without having had any formal training. And it's because of the frequencies that we are sitting within right now. We have moved into higher frequencies, higher timelines. And what's happening is it's activating those souls that are ready to come and do the work here. Now, when I say that are ready to come and do the work here, it might be in your family. It might be that you have an awareness of your limiting beliefs in your family and you're working on yourself through this awakening, and you're helping yourself and your family, because everything that you do as an individual, every single person as an individual, the healing, the transformation, the shifts, the transmutation of our own fears and our own limitations has a ripple effect to every single being on this planet, because we are all connected. And whatever we whatever you choose in the moment, and it might be simply that you have an experience. And I'll give you an example. I had a man that came to me and he said to me, I just sat one day and I was in meditation and I had this, like my channel opened. I started seeing colors. I started seeing beings coming through. I didn't know what to do, but it felt so good. And I had all this amazing energy moving through my body. What do I do with this now? So that is why I'm here. I help you understand what to do with that
Wow.
now.
Okay.
Okay. And
Yes.
so mentorship is a really great way to go. However, and those souls that are ready to understand why they're here, they will follow the calling of what is the best teacher for them. Because I can't say to you, go and do Reiki, go and do this. It's what is for the best for that soul. What
Yeah.
is their unique journey that they have to walk to be able to get to where they need to get to.
Got it. So are you suggesting that if somebody does feel as if they have this calling, that they should ask their own spiritual beings? Okay.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
how they would come to realization as to where they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So our higher self is our guide. So that's that soft, gentle voice, that intuition, that compass that steers you forward. Okay. The ego is the loud, shouty voice that says you can't do things, you are silly, you failed. surely you don't have these abilities. People will laugh at you if you use this, right? So that's the ego. The softer voice is the soul calling, and that's the higher self, the spiritual team. And we all have a spiritual team, a spirit team that work with us, that guide us, and that create these synchronicities and these experiences in our life to bring us closer to our soul mission and soul purpose. And the rest is up to us to choose.
So I was going to ask, so I'm glad you mentioned the spirit team. Who are these people?
Mm. So they're beings of light. So there's various different races and beings that are all working here together with and for humanity, to really bring humanity to a stage of higher consciousness, to release us from the space of fear and control, which we have been in for a very long time, and move us into a space of freedom, co-creation, and peace. Okay. And basically built on the foundations of love. These beings are cosmic beings. They are beings like the Andromedans, Arcturians, the angelic realms, the seraphim, which are the highest order of the angelic realms, various different beings, and the Council of Light that are here, that has a directive to really assist humanity to come to consciousness, to awaken to what's actually going on here on this planet, and to release the slavery codes, to release the fear codes, to release the sense that humans do not have the power that they have within them, and that they don't hold or that don't have any choices. Okay, so there are certainly beings out there that are trying to keep us where we have always been and not let us evolve as humanity. So there's also, besides that, there is also the earth realms, and we have many beings in the earth realms that's here, the dragon realms, there's the beautiful tree elders. And what's happening is we are starting to realize that we can communicate with other beings, and they've always been there. And we just have to open ourselves up to receive information from them, because they want to educate us. They want to help us understand that there is so much more to just this fear or this control or our limiting beliefs, and really help us activate our deepest, truest love for ourselves so that we can live from that space.
When you say they've always been here, is there any proof
Mm.
of individuals like yourself, like eons ago?
Mm. So if you think about mediums and you think about psychic mediums, they have always had the ability to connect with the other world and bring through messages from spirit and from our loved ones. So I think
Right.
that's probably the biggest proof in terms of really anchoring it into this reality. Then also, if you think about the books that's coming out, that's written by you know, by authors that is talking about Lemurian times, and where do they get that information from? It's just not a story that's made up. Where do you think that the people that create movies get, like Avatar, get their information from? They have amazing imaginations, but also that information is channeled from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere that is we have access to so much, because the Akashic records, there's a quantum library for us to access where everything gets recorded. There's so much that I can go into. But ultimately, it's to know that this physical world is very real, but there is so much more beyond our physical reality. And when we tap into the beauty and the love and the knowledge that they're willing to share with us here, that this can actually be a real catalyst to changing our world, our individual worlds, and to really becoming sovereign beings, free from control and free from fear.
Can somebody agree with that, what everything that you're saying, and then also be a Christian or a Catholic, like believe in a heavenly Father?
Absolutely. God is my only guide in terms of that is who I am here to serve. So everything that I do here is for God and in service of God. And I was a Christian, when I was a young girl. I grew up in a very Christian household. And Absolutely. Faith is not, I think that what's happened, humanity has put a label on faith. You know, you are a Christian, you are this, you are that, but actually we are all the same. We all have this immense ability to be able to see the truth and be sovereign beings and be the love that we are here to be. And if we do that from a good heart, from a space where we want to bring change into this world, then what does it matter which faith we come from? Yeah. What
Yeah,
does it
I
matter?